This is a pair of metal fascias or face plates for a Hoffman branded console stereo. I picked up the stereo for free a few years ago, just out garage sailing. Somebody had set it out on the corner, and I threw it in the back of my van. And these are about the only parts I remember getting off it. Maybe a speaker or two, but this was a few years ago. I had a little trouble finding these. It's a problem when you don't sell something for years. You forget where you put it. But these sold for $30. This is a small Mercury Cougar F&F mold toy. It was actually a cereal premium for Post cereals. If you can read that F&F mold. But I've sold several of these. They had a big campaign on Mustangs in '65. Post cereal had these F&F mold cars. But this one is actually a 1967 Mercury Cougar, which was Mercury's version of the Mustang. And this sold for $13. This was an interesting item at the local auction. And I may have bid too much for it. I think I paid over $10 for it. It's called an Astrocom X100. And I think I paid more for it because it did come with the original instructions, even a little spare parts price list, and some tools. Now this was a sort of a Dick Tracy watch, although it's a radio transmitter. It will transmit to an FM station on your radio. This is from 1969. And it's in pretty good shape. And I sold it for $118. Got this packed up before I took a video. This is a light switch, most probably found in a bathroom, being the pink or salmon color that it is. And these are one of those things that, you know, when you go to an estate sale and you're not finding much, but you want to at least make the trip worthwhile. I figure I could get at least $10 for it, and it took a couple of months. Another vintage pencil sharpener. It's really cool swirl in that plastic, that orange plastic. This is a Boston Bulldog model. Part of the collection I bought a couple of years ago. Still have about a dozen left. And this one sold for $15. Well, this is the second of a couple of magnetic chess sets, kind of travel sets that I've sold. I bought these at a garage sale. And first one sold pretty quickly. This one took a little bit longer, number of months, but I got $25 for it. Some more reel-to-reel tapes sold. These are Maxell, and there are 10 of them in this lot. Got some nice 70s music. It's always fun to listen to these tapes when I come across them. Sometimes I'm very familiar, sometimes I'm not with the music that's on them. But I was able to get $150 for these 10. This is an Emerson clock radio, tube powered. I found this at a garage sale over the summer, and I can't remember what they were asking for it, but I said, can I plug it in? And they said, sure, the clock works, but the radio doesn't, which is very typical of these. The filter capacitors are usually leaking or just don't work anymore. And with that knowledge, I was able to get this for $5. And it took me about 15 minutes or so to replace the capacitors. And now it works just fine.
Line 46540 up 60. Soybeans.
AM, of course. And something I'll pass along, I read this somewhere, and I've done it ever since, is proper hand placement when selling a clock. They should be at the 10 minutes to 2. One thing, it will not cover up the name of the clock, and 2, it looks like a smile. That's what I read anyway, and so I've always done that. Place the hands at 10 to 2, just like driving. And again, this sold for $85. Now, this is a clock face from a Seth Thomas schoolroom clock. I bought 3 of them from a garage sale last summer. Sold 2 of them. Actually had to dismantle this Seth Thomas to make another one work, and decided I could sell the face. It's just made out of heavy paper, and I was able to sell it for $15. This is an Italian pipe, Savinelli, and I guess I picked this up with some other Tabacchiana. These are really difficult to find the maker on. It's usually on the bottom, and it's embossed, but these can bring some good money. I got a $30 best offer for this one. Now, this is just a single vintage TDK cassette. It's a sort of an odd one. It's an EDC60. I've never seen that one before, so I priced it up there, and it didn't take very long at all to sell. I got $17 for it. Now, there's nothing written on the J card or the label of the tape, but it has been recorded on, and it's got a separate little card showing what's recorded on it. I don't think that's why it's sold, for what was recorded on it. Just a rare tape. 17 bucks. Oh, this is an embroidered patch, along with a bunch of other patches I bought years ago. Very slow to sell. This one is for lady motocrossers. Do it in the dirt with a skirt. And this sold for 10 bucks. Some more vintage cassettes sold. These are Maxell. I grouped these together. I'm just trying to get rid of all these, so I didn't ask a lot for them, but one of the major selling points is that the J cards are not written on, nor are the tapes themselves. And this lot of 8 sold for $25. Well, this is just a single cassette tape. I've had this up for several years, and I was selling it more for the content than the tape itself, which is probably why it took so long, but I was able to get $9 for it. It has a 70s broadcast of CBS Mystery Theater, and I believe E.G. Marshall is the narrator on that, and there's, commercials from the period and news stories even, and I was able to get, like I said, $9 for one cassette. Oh, this pair of speakers came out of a vintage RCA stereo console that I picked up rather cheaply, and have been selling parts off it. I always list these speakers separately, never in pairs, but somebody did buy them both for $25 each. Well, this is a book on building canoes. This is a birch bark canoe, and I don't remember where I picked this up, but it's rather rare, and it did take quite a while to sell, but I got 40 bucks for it. This is a control knob off of a Garrard turntable that I've had up for sale for quite some time. That's what it looks like on the turntable. And this sold on Bonanza for nearly $15. This is a vintage floor lamp shade, milk glass torche type shade with a rib pattern on it. I listed this with all the dimensions, including inner and outer dimensions, as that is important because that's how I acquired this. I had a lamp that needed a milk glass shade. I picked this up at a garage sale, but it didn't fit the lamp I had. But this only took about a week to sell, and I got $25 for it. Another lot of vintage cassette tapes that I recently put up for sale. These are all TDK, but they are different times and models. AD, SD, 90s, 60s, even some 120s. These are 90s and 60. And this is one of those Adwa, which is a weird name they put on some of their tapes. Must have something to do with the formula. But these are kind of rare. In case this lot of 10, I already forgot what I sold it for. This sold for $35. This is a Denon turntable. Picked this up along with a bunch of other stereo equipment quite a while ago, and it kind of sat waiting for me. I finally got to it and fixed everything that was wrong with it. Mostly it needed a new cartridge and stylus. But I was able to sell this. I had it both on Marketplace and eBay. And it's sold on Facebook Marketplace for $300.